federal government to the states, but not the specific amount that each state gets month in, month out from the federal government. And that what you have to get it from the accountant general of the state to have a well-explained copy or copies of how the state gets month in, month out allocations from the federal government. Should it be so?
Yes, it ought not to be so, because we have seen that with specific reference to the way the executive carry out the day-to-day runnings of administration in this country, it has shown that there is no transparency. In a climate where there is transparency, there ought to be a breakdown. Even the Constitution makes it clear for there to be a breakdown of how public funds are distributed or shared amongst the federal government and the 36 states of the federation. But here we are, some executive maneuverings are being carried out so that the people of Nigeria will not know that. And now, if the people of Nigeria do not have access to that information, what about their representative at the legislative angle of it?
Do they have access?
Do they have access? If they don't, do they ask questions with respect to that, or they are engaged in frivolities? So that is why the freedom, I think, that the Freedom of Information Act now makes provision.
That's the importance.
Individuals, citizens, group of citizens to make application.
Yeah, because it's
get that information.
Yeah, because it's not every information that will be on the public space.
Yes.
So, but that Freedom of Information Act can also help.
Yes.
If you seek or require such information that may not readily be on the public space, so that you can easily access such,
Yes.
Okay. Okay, but how fluid or how, accessible is the office of the Attorney General, for instance?
It's accessible. It's a public office. You can make your application.
Okay.
And the Freedom of Information Act also saw the possibility of the institution wherein that application is made to refuses to grant that application or request as made. And the Act now provides for, in section 25, that you can go to court to seek a redress so that the court can grant an order. And once the court grants an order, you bring that order to them so that they can furnish you with whatever information as specified in your application.
All right, this quite a sensitive topic, and we will not be able to exhaust it in one episode. But in the next episode, we're going to be looking more into, the sanctions, or how the citizens can be able to, access, remedies, these legal remedies, in tackling or finding way where the provisions of the law can, make sanctions on non-performing public officials that are found wanting in terms of not being able to, satisfy the public or the citizens in respect of giving account of their still worship. And that will be done basically, next week. But before we round off on this, let's look at the aspect of the legislative arm, for instance, that you raised. This is an important arm of government that helps to oversee, deploy, that helps to, look into oversight functions, of the executive. Now, how can we strengthen this body in order to be able to, help in accountability of the executive?
The law is clear with reference to legislative oversight, and that the legislature, their function as provided for by the Constitution is not just to make laws. Like we have agreed, they also have
oversight functions. Yes. Yes.
And when they refuse,
but they are lagging in that aspect. Like what you said, they are lagging in that aspect.
Yes.
So how do we strengthen that arm? But first of all, what could be the causative factor, and how can we strengthen that arm for it to be found, living up to expectation?
With the kind of legislative.
Basically, that's what we're going to be looking at in the next episode, because we want to look at the recall process. How is it done? And of course, sanctions that will be given on non-performing public officials. how would that be carried out? So big thanks for taking our time to be part of this.
It's a pleasure to be.
My name is Philip Omo Gripo. We'll see you same time next week. Bye for now.
This is ITV.
Certainly the best.
Thank you very much for joining us on the program Healthy Living. What is the kidney?
The kidney is an excretory organ in the body, which is for metabolism.
Tuberculosis affects many organs in the body, but the common ones it usually affects is the lungs.
Epilepsy is a neurological problem.
Okay.
It is an injury in the brain which causes someone to begin to convulse, to go into fits.
It is curable, but the cure is a long-term thing.
If you eat well and avoid those risk factors that will make your immunity to be down, then the risk of contracting tuberculosis will be reduced.
If you're healthy, then you're wealthy.
The man went out to bring in thugs to come and beat her.
Yeah.
In a situation like that, do you think women would have seen that and still want to speak?
Really, we're talking that's about what I said. So when they bullied her,
Yeah.
if she's not bold enough, she will shut up.
What is your advice for girls out there that are so desperate to be married?
We women, we have to be really intentional about our parenting.
If you know a child is being abused, or you see signs, a bruise or a child, it has to be investigated.
People barely even breathe when they are going for a shrebi and something.
Party.
You have to be
They
smart.
can't sit
If
down.
you see where they are dressing them up or dragging on both sides, you cannot you cannot breathe. And these women will stay in those events for hours just to keep up with that beauty trend.
Is that healthy?
That's not healthy.
I am Patricia Uremu Gabriels and we're reaching you live from our Lagos Network studio. Of course, Women in Conversation is a program designed for women to discuss about themselves.
This is ITV.
Certainly the best.
Viewers, once more, we welcome you to Message of Islam, reaching you from Independent Television Benin. Today, inshallah, we want to look at the topic condemnation of murder in Islam. Condemnation of the crime or the offense of murder in Islam. Inshallah, to take this topic, I have with me in the studio this evening. Close to me on my left is Ustaz Sani Abdul Hafiz. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the program.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you for having me, and assalamu alaikum viewers.
Alhamdulillah. And we also have in the studio this evening Professor Bunyamin Aidi Al-Aji. Professor Bunyamin Aidi. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the program.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Viewers at home, peace be unto you all.
Alhamdulillah. Yes, we are looking at this topic, condemnation of murder in Islam. We are looking at any topic as far as Islam is concerned. We are looking at it in line with what submission to the will of God entails, because Islam radically means submission to the will of Almighty Allah. Let me start with you. Ustaz Sani Abdul Hafiz. What is murder? Let's start with the definition.
In the name of Allah, all praise is due to Allah. We ask for Allah's peace and blessings upon our noble Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Murder, simply put, in the definition of Islam, is the taking of the life of another person for no just cause and without having the authority to do so. Taking the life of another person for no just cause and without the authority to do so. We have to put it this way because sometimes there are some kind of penalties that may involve having to take the life of another person. So such is not regarded as murder in Islam. For example, if somebody committed adultery and they have to be stoned to death, you don't call that murder. But stoning the person to death requires authority. So if you say somebody committed adultery and you say because we are Muslims, we cannot see an adulterer, and so we take up arms and lynch the person to death, we have committed murder because we have no authority to do so. So murder is to take the life of another person for no just cause and without authority to do so.
Alhamdulillah. I'm coming to you now, Prof. Now, what is the punishment for murder in Islam? One who has committed the offense of murder.
Of course, the definition of murder as far as Islam is concerned has been given by Malam Abdul Hafiz Sani. In addition to what he just said, before I go to the punishment for murder, the issue of committing adultery, before you can even carry out the punishment, there must be witnesses. Witnesses to say, at least two same men who will not lie. And it's not, adultery is not something that you commit in the presence of anyone. So even when the act had been carried out and the person just came out of the room with a towel or whatever, and it's at that point one of the witnesses see them, you don't have any right to now come out and say you think that is what they went inside to do. So before you even catch the person red-handed or the person's red-handed, it will be very, very difficult. And that is why most times it's left between you and your creator. Now, having said that, the punishment for murder, the moment...
The standard of proof in adultery is more than that.
Yes.
We are required to produce 4 eyewitnesses.
Thank you. 4 eyewitnesses. Yes, thank you. 4 eyewitnesses. Now, the punishment for murder is also that the life of the person that has committed it must be taken. And it will not be taken except the family of the person say, well, no problem. So there are 2 or 3 categories as mentioned in the Quran. The murder could be what the lawyers would call the manslaughter, if it is not intentional. just by mistake. And if it is intentional, someone intentionally takes the life of another person and it's established that the person did that intentionally, such individual, once it's caught, you take the life of such person as well. So the Islam doesn't play with the life of an individual. Even when you say the life of the fetus, who you want to regard as not a full physical human being, Islam takes care of that. So as much as possible, even the life of animals, Islam takes care of that. Because in Islam doesn't allow you to take the life of an animal without you having any need for such animal. So much as we protect the lives of human beings, we protect the life of every living being.
Thank you very much. We are looking at the topic, condemnation of murder in Islam. In Islam, life is so sacred. It is Almighty Allah who created us and is the owner of all the life. In fact, you do not have the right to take your own life, take your own soul. You commit suicide, you go straight to the hellfire. We have a lot of misconceptions when it comes to all these things in Islam. If you commit suicide, in Islam, you go to the fire of hell. Islam has zero tolerance for the offense of murder. Now, Ustaz Sani Abdul Hafiz, I'm coming back to you again. Now, in a situation where we have Muslims whose lives are not governed by the Sharia law, which stipulates steep penalties for criminal offenses, what is your take on that?
As it relates to murder, when you don't have
we have issue of corruption, law, even where you have laws of the land as regards a particular offense.
You know, the general rule, whenever the Sharia authority is not in place, more of a rule of alaykum anfusukum. That is, you are in charge of yourself. In charge of yourself to guard yourself and conduct yourself in a way and manner that you don't commit sins. You don't do whatever Allah has prohibited, including committing murder. It's a complex, scenario for a Muslim to actually live in, because there has to be law in place. There has to be the Sharia in place to bring everybody to book whenever they overstep the boundaries of Allah. But unfortunately, where you live in a place where the Sharia law is not in place, the second question will be, is there any law in place at all? If there is a law in place at all, then the law in place has to be, followed to protect lives as it relates to murder. Nobody has a right to take the life of another person. The Islamic fights, so to say, that you had in the time of the Prophet ﷺ, at some point they have to be brought to a halt. Bringing them to a halt required coming into agreements, coming into some kind of treaties, some kind of terms of peace. Those terms of peace are, terms that all of us are committed to in order to see that we don't spill the blood of one another. So as long as those laws are in place, the Muslim is also binded by this law that you don't take the life of another person. This is actually how the ulama describe a state that has a constitution. Like Nigeria, for example. It has a constitution. The constitution represents the agreement between all parties that form the state called Nigeria. Whether they are traditionalists, they are Muslims, they are atheists, they are Christians, they are Jews. All of us are captured in this constitution. So that we are all binded by the law of respecting one another, protecting the life of one another, ensuring that there is always peace and there is no crisis.
Thank you very much.
Now,
Professor, I just come back to you again. We have some countries that has abolished death penalty. Condemnation of murder in Islam. The penalty for murder in Islam is you will be executed if you are found guilty of murder. What is your view on abolition of death penalty? When Almighty God that created us has made that law that whoever kills and is found guilty should be executed.
You see, there is no way we will not have problems in every society where we try to modify the natural laws that govern us, that govern every society. It's one of the ways through which people modify the natural laws. And wherever you have that, will not be far from crisis. Because, for instance, in Nigeria, assuming we still uphold that is, whoever takes the life of another person unjustly, such individuals should also be eliminated. If we abide with it, we'll not be running into series of crises that we have nowadays. We have so many examples of people that were kidnapped before ransoms were paid. Such individuals were eliminated. Even when ransoms have been paid, they still went ahead to kill them. Quite a number of times we have read that certain numbers of kidnappers, bandits, terrorists, or whatever, committing one heinous crime or another, were arrested. Later, we will still hear that they receive amnesty.
But Nigeria did not abolish death penalty.
I'm coming. Now, much as we do not abolish death penalty, how many times have we in this country heard of someone that was condemned in any court of law to murder, and such persons were eventually executed, either publicly or privately in any secret places? We've not heard of that in the past 30 years. And that is why we keep, rigmaroling around a circle. Because right from the time kidnapping started some years back, if we had adopted that, right from the time the Iptro banditry started, the terrorism started, all these forms of criminalities in our society, if we had adopted execution of anyone that was found guilty, after carrying out all the decent investigations and you confirm that this person actually did this, if you execute them, automatically nobody will want to venture into such things. But at the end of the day, you still find them on the street of on the streets of the town. Now, coming back really to other countries where they have abolished that, they try as much as possible to keep such individuals out of circulation. And what they believe is that, separating them from the society, not having any contact with anyone, is even worse than killing. You've heard of people that were confided or that are confided life imprisonment. In one room, they only give them maybe 1 hour of refreshment during the day or at night, depending on whatever the person chooses. Keeping the person solitarily in that kind of environment can be worse. And it can be likened to, al-fitna to ashadu min al-qatl. Keeping someone in permanent condition of tribulation may be worse than death sometimes. But whichever one we adopt in the country, as it is today, Nigeria cannot even be said to have adopted anyone. We are just floating, and that is why we have this mirage of crisis within us today.
So our law is very clear. We have the law stipulating death penalty for some offences. Another thing is the enforcement of the laws. I'm coming to you now, Ustaz Sani Abdul Hafiz. Now, is it permissible in Islam to, in the guise of jihad, perpetrate heinous crimes like murder?
No, it's never permitted
in
the laws of Islam.
What is jihad?
So,
jihad means killing the innocent?
Jihad is a struggle, by the literal translation. And this struggle can be in any form, which one of the forms is actual fighting. And the way to express it is to say that you are struggling to enforce Allah's law. You are enforcing, you are trying to, live the life that Allah says you should live. Obey Allah's law. It's a continuous struggle. You are struggling with yourself. You are struggling with the forces. Then you now have it at a point in time where you have forces that feel that you should not even exist because you are a Muslim, that you shouldn't exist. So this is the point at which the Prophet ﷺ was told that you should fight back.
Is it part of jihad to be involved in banditry and terrorism?
Yeah, you asking the question that what's jihad? That's why we are trying to explain it. It's not. It's not. Banditry is not jihad. Terrorism is not jihad. Whatever other forms of crimes people committing, it's not jihad.
A police officer who is fighting against the armed robbers, is he not performing jihad?
He's performing a jihad because he is trying to, is struggling against disturbances to the society,
so whatever you
to
do,
the community. Everything you do to keep the community safe, peaceful, and progressing is a jihad. So it can be in any form. Now, coming back to the point of banditry, I feel actually very disturbed to even want to connect them at all. They are not in the same line. Because banditry is for some economic gain. We can put it that way.
Banditry is evil.
Yes, it's evil. It's for economic gain. Those who are into it, they know what they are out for. Even in jihad, you don't come to a place where people are just living and then you lynch an attack on them because they are not Muslims. No, you don't do that. So when you say that some people are terrorists and then they go to a place of non-Muslim occupants in order to get everybody dead.
Or even Muslim occupants.
Okay, Muslim. No, normally when you want to talk about jihad, you want to talk about the non-Muslim. That's why you can't call it jihad. Because many of the times, Muslims are involved in what your so-called banditry, terrorism, insurgency, kidnapping. Muslims are involved. They pay the ransom. They lose the lives of their relatives. Mosques are destroyed. Worshippers are maimed. So how could you call it jihad? They are not close. They are not the same thing. So it's part of what the society need to be educated about. The Quran talks about jihad, but jihad is not banditry. It's not terrorism. It's not insurgency. It is not kidnapping. It is the Prophet ﷺ fought against Makkans. The Makkans was the home where he was born. He has been expelled from Makkah to Medina. And the people did not only expel him, they took arms to go face him in Medina to say, this man cannot continue to live. Whoever believes in him will be crushed. That was when Allah said,
Thank you very much. You are allowed to defend yourself, you defend your life. And so it is part of jihad to defend your life. Prophet said one tradition. That if a thief attacks you, you should fight him. And the companion asked, how about if he kills me in the course of the fight? Prophet says, you will go to paradise. He then said, how about if I kill him? Prophet says, if you kill him, he will go to the hellfire. So jihad is from the word jahada, to strive, to struggle. But it has to be a positive struggle. Striving in the cause of God. And God is good. And God is not evil. Saving a life is part of jihad. As a medical doctor, you are called and you left your home at midnight, rushing to the hospital to save the life of that accident victim. That is jihad. Jihad is to struggle, to strive in the cause of God. Nigeria has been declared or was declared as a country of particular concern. And we are also hearing allegations of Christian genocide. What is your take on that?
Well, of course, when you look at the word genocide as applied to what we have in Nigeria, it's not only our Christian brothers, sisters that one can say are the victims of genocide in Nigeria. Because look at the issue of kidnapping, the issue of terrorism, banditry that we mentioned earlier on. All these one cut across various tribes, various religions, even including those that don't proclaim either Christianity or Islam. The victims vary in terms of age, in terms of tribes, in terms of religion. So one cannot really say that it's only the Christians that are involved, except that we are trying to just heat up the polity. And where the danger is the fact that assuming the people we are calling from outside come here to come and assist us, fight others, there is no way we will not run into more problems. Because in areas where they had intervened in the past, there is no part of the country, part of the world where we have had intervention of these persons that we are calling, that they have stable society till today. Talk of Libya, talk of Somalia, talk of Syria, talk of even the Middle East. There is nowhere that is peaceful up to today. Now, if you say they should come, no bomb or bullet is labeled Christians or Muslims. If they drop any bomb anywhere, the devastation will not separate people based on religion or will not destroy people based on religion or tribes. So therefore, what we need to pray for and also strive for is there is a general problem, that there are general problems that we all have. The issue of hunger is there. The issue of mounting anger is there, which is necessitated by the situation we find ourselves in this country. So if someone is hungry, hunger as it is today doesn't differentiate between religions, doesn't differentiate between tribes. We are all hungry, we are all angry the same way. So we should not, based on the fact that certain persons are looking for favors outside the shores of Nigeria, then magnify the problem beyond what we will be able to bear when the consequences come. The consequences may be enormous. This country belongs to every one of us, whether we are Christians or we are Muslims or we are atheists, or we don't even believe in any existence of any God. This country belongs to us all, and we must defend it by our conduct, by our character, and by that band of humanity that all of us are together in this.
Thank you. Ustaz Peace. What is the government expected to do? The duty of government is to protect life and property.
The government, among everything they have done, which is striving to see how much they protect life and properties, we can only say that more should be done. More should be done, and just as has been mentioned, that when criminals that are involved in these activities are arrested, they should be promptly dealt with according to the law. And when Allah mentioned about punishing the adulterer, let some of the people witness their punishment, so that it will be shown that the one who lost a life will know that the person that killed my person has been dealt with.
That will serve as a deterrent to others. Thank you very much, viewers. We have been looking at the topic, condemnation of murder in Islam. Islam has zero tolerance for murder and for all criminal activities. In fact, Islam is very, very strict when it comes to punishment. You steal, your hand is amputated. You commit adultery, you are stoned to death, or you are given 100 strokes of the cane if you commit fornication, if you are not married. You commit murder, you are to be executed. You commit banditry, your hand and feet at alternate sides is to be cut off, and you can be banished from the land. Very severe punishment we have in Islam, the Sharia law. But when you have Muslims whose lives are not governed by the Sharia, then it becomes a matter of concern. Banditry, terrorism is not part of Islam. Jihad means struggle, to strive in the cause of God positively. And we should all try as much as possible to let all hands be on deck to make Nigeria and the world at large a peaceful place, especially as Muslims. Thanks for coming. Al-Haji Professor Bunyamin Ayinde, and thanks for coming, Mr. Sani Abdulhafiz.
Thank you too.
Al-Haji Al-Amin Alao. We have joined us again next week. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
This is ITV.
Certainly the best.
The Igwe Festival is the colorful and crowd-pulling festival in Benin Kingdom. The Igwe Festival is an annual event that is celebrated by all Benin, both at home and abroad, to mark the end of the Benin year and to usher in a new year with a renewed hope for peace and prosperity. The annual Ugie Festival is centered on the Oba of Benin as the Oba takes the center stage. This year's Ugie commences with Otuigwoba. The Oba, sitting at his throne, gives out kola nuts to chiefs in order of seniority.
This is ITV.
Certainly the best.
Welcome to Market Survey, your weekly window into the cost of everyday goods that shape our daily lives. In recent times, the rising cost of food items has continued to affect homes and kitchens across the country. Today, we turn our attention to groundnut oil, a major cooking ingredient used in households, restaurants, and food businesses. Whether for frying, sauce making, or everyday meals, groundnut oil remains a staple in almost every kitchen. On this edition of Market Survey, we'll find out the current prices of groundnut oil, the reasons behind the changes, and how traders are coping with the new reality. So come with me, let's get to know the current prices.
How groundnut oil be for market now? The prices, how the overall price?
Okay, for now, groundnut oil dey okay for now. But we still want to make the thing come down pass like this.
So how much na they carry jerry can? How much they measure?
Before we dey buy 42, but now at least the thing is good now. We dey buy 39, 38. Okay. So for now the thing dey less. So we want make it come down.
So how much na they measure? Like all this one bottle 5 liters. How much na
okay, those bottles now we dey sell 2,1 before. Okay. But now we dey sell 1,900, 2,000. Okay. But we want make it come down.
Then all these 5 liters.
Okay, as this one be now, we dey sell level 5 to 12,000, but now we dey sell 10,000.
Okay, now you want me the price come down? Like how much if you say that if they sell now, we say everybody will afford?
At least this one now go be 5,000. Go dey okay. Go be 5,000. Why that one now fit be 1,000 or 900? Go dey okay.
So but now the price don't come down small, boy.
It come down small, but it still dey high side.
Compared to the beginning of this year and now, how much I think they sell before the gallon?
No, before now, early this year, yes. It did pass like this. Okay. But everything dey okay now, even rice. But we want to make it come down so that everybody will feel they buy.
So now even people will come they buy, customers will come they buy. They say they complain, say it's still there on the high side. Even now
they say they complain. You know, say we human being. Even if this one enter 1,000, they will still want to make it come down. But at least we want to make it come down. Even we where they go market, they go buy, so that we will feel they buy. Not be the season sha, but the thing dey okay. Not say this Christmas period e dey there, but now the thing come down, so we just thank God.
So but this Christmas period, so compared to last Christmas period, difference
big difference. Yeah. Big difference. The thing come down.
So like how much you take come up for money when I take the seller?
A big go. As a last year, I think we dey sell that bottle 2,2. But now at least we even sell 1,800 and we'll still make am. So the thing come down.
The price is balanced. I can see everything come down a bit.
So how much na fit they carry groundnut oil before for gallon?
Before we dey carry, we are buying that is 47,700.
Now to the buy.
Of course.
So how much na say they measure for different bottles?
We are selling 200 by 2,000 by bottle 1,800.
The bottle 1,800 last.
Of course.
So how much na they sell that bottle before?
The time we dey buy 52, 50 something, we dey sell that bottle 22, 23. As of now, since the price don come down a bit, we still reduce the price.
So now the season of groundnut oil will dey so like this?
Of course, every festival period, groundnut oil must follow.
So during this season, supposed to come down?
Maybe before December, if it come down.
But no. Money I think they buy am before and now, how much you say don top am, be don reduce am?
Well, just a little bit, about 1,000 plus.
prices wey dey now na very fair price, or you fit say dem fit still reduce the price?
I believe in God. There is nothing God cannot do. To me,